Good morning.
Oh shit, hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
How's it going?
I'm still recuperating, man. I got myself a little too drunk on Friday night, and I had to spend all day yesterday taking a nap, and I've realized that I can't drink anymore. The older
Yeah,
I get, the less I can drink.
Yeah, I realized that a few months ago.
Yeah.
Really, most of this year, actually. I haven't had a lot to drink. What'd you get into?
Friday night I think we just ended up watching a whole bunch of new animes. We were watching the Dan to Dan stuff. We were binging Vox Machina, and I was just sitting there sipping on tequila and while spending like a couple hours watching anime. And when I got up, it just hit me.
Yeah.
And it was
You
over.
get lost in your cups.
It was over after that. It was over.
Okay.
So.
That is fun though. Just sitting there watching, binging a bunch of new anime and having some drinks. And yeah, if you're stationary,
You won't notice it.
you're not really aware.
Yeah, you won't notice it. Yeah.
Dude, I remember one time me and you, we were over at a friend's house. This was over a decade ago. And fresh out of high school, of course. And we were sitting down drinking. And I had been I guess people were just handing me my drink. Because I don't think I got up for a good hour or two. And when I got up, everything came rushing in. That was the night that I actually think I could have died. Because I was the last one awake and you all were asleep. And I was outside of his basement door. You know, like how his basement door would go out to the side of his house.
Yeah.
I fell over from standing straight up, straight down. Like, no
You're just
knee
like
bending.
face planted, just.
Dude, and when I looked up, I was like probably 4 to 5 inches from that brick garden lining.
Oh
like,
my God.
Could have been done. Wouldn't have felt anything, but I would be dead. It wouldn't have hurt. But yeah, I almost fried myself at the ripe young age of 18. Okay, but we're alive. We're here, and that's what matters.
Yes, yeah, we're live. There's a whole bunch of new animes that dropped. One of them we'll be talking about today. They did announce right after My Hero's final episode of this season came out. They did announce the last season is going to be coming out next year, 2025.
Nice. And this is our finale of sorts for the first iteration of the podcast.
Yes.
So we'll be taking the holiday season off, and we'll be back in January.
Rework some stuff and come back with some
probably
fresh
new
ideas.
formatting, maybe some video.
Yeah.
Hopefully some video. We're gonna play around with some things.
More people coming and joining. Yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah. A lot more guests. I think we should make that a regular thing. Maybe like a once a month. Try to find a guest.
Yeah. I'm down for more if we can find more.
Oh yeah, no, super down for more. At least once a month, and it'll get us into other anime because we have to tackle the Dragon Ball Mountain.
Yeah, I saw Dragon Ball Daima dropped this past week, and I was tempted to watch it, but I was like, man, I haven't really watched any of the other ones, even though I do think this is kind of set apart, like going to be kind of standalone. But a lot of the characters I just don't know, and I feel like I'm not going to have the same level of connection with them. So
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's like you wanna save it for when there's more emotion in it.
Yeah.
More attachment. It's funny, dude. Dragon Ball is probably the one anime IP in general where I know so much about it, but there's so much that I don't know about it.
Yeah,
It's just I think it's just growing up with it.
The funny thing is I see shorts of it online all the time, and I'm like, why did I never watch this? Because some of these shorts are actually sick. Like some of these, like the tournaments and stuff where they're fighting each other. It's actually pretty cool. Like I understand why people get into it, but I don't know why I never got into it the way that like our buddy Taylor got into it. You know?
Yeah, I know that. Like, I would always watch it when I saw it on TV, and I was hooked, and I would sit there and watch it. I have no idea what episode I was watching. You know, whenever it would come on, and this is like I'm talking about like being like a child / young teenager.
Yeah.
I would watch it when it was on, but I had no idea that. I didn't know things regularly came on in a specific order. Like, dude, I was unaware of a lot. I was like, oh, it's on TV. I'm gonna watch it. It looks cool.
Yeah, that's how I was with Naruto initially, and then that's how I learned, like, oh, I need to watch it every week, or I'm gonna be behind and confused.
Okay.
So,
See, I never saw Naruto on TV. What did it come on?
well, they did put it on,
network?
what is it, XD, or it might have been Toonami. I know it was on one of those. I think it was Cartoon Network, Toonami.
Okay. And we're getting the Naruto TMNT crossover.
Yeah, the comic book. Yeah, yep, comic book.
That's
I also
soon, right?
saw something today where the Transformers like figurine company, the ones that make new Transformers and stuff, Hasbro, not Hasbro specifically, but like Transformers, the IP, partnered with Naruto, and they made Naruto Transformers. They have one that's like Kurama and transforms into like a robotic Naruto looking ninja, and then they have one that's one of the toads, and it transforms into like a smaller Naruto looking ninja guy. Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting too. The biggest things were definitely just the new season of My Hero coming out next year, and then we've got all these new animes coming out. Also, I do want to rave about Dan to Dan a little bit. I know you haven't watched it yet.
Do it.
But Dan to Dan is so good so far. The intro, awesome. The animation style, really good. The comedy is great. The female character is one of the best female characters I've seen written so far. She's not just like your bog standard, here's female A constantly like pining over the main character, one of the side characters. They're like, this girl actually has like this girl actually has like substance and humor, and like knows it seems like she knows how to have fun and kind of let loose a little bit, which is nice. Yeah, I think you'll like it. I'm actually really excited for you to watch it. It is weird. I'm not gonna lie, the first episode is really weird. But as the show has gone on, I think it's only gonna get cooler. So
nice. Well, yeah, you sent me the intro, and it was very catchy.
Yeah,
it's good.
I did confirm that is the same group that did Mashl's opener for season 2, the big one, the Blim Bum Bum Blim Bum. It's I think they're called that group is called Creepy Nuts. That's their name.
But, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. The Asian musician names are like that. It's just it's funny.
Yeah.
There's another one, Radwimps, I think is another group. Yeah, they have some interesting names for sure.
Yeah, I saw one earlier. It was like green something, but green was spelled GRE4N. And then I'd have to find, it was like Green Boys or something. It was so weird.
Green Boys.
Yeah, I'll have to find it, and I'll have to send it to you later. It was a super weird name.
That's funny.
Yeah. So just so you know, Creepy Nuts is actually just 2 dudes. It's like a big DJ artist named Matsunaga, and then the rap artist or master of ceremony, R Shitai or R Shiti. Anyways, yeah, he's a monster. If you ever go look at his videos of his other music that he does, like these two together are like a dream team.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. I will check that out. Was there any other news?
As far as news goes, that's pretty much it this week. Just tons of new animes dropping. We had Dan to Dan. We had Blue Lock season 2 started. Watched the first 2 episodes of that. Trying to think of any other new animes that dropped that are worth noting. Aside from that, though, there's no major news.
Just Vox Machina. That's not necessarily
anime. Still absolutely worth talking about.
Yeah.
That was great. I don't know if you watched the first 3 episodes. I haven't watched the latest ones, but the first 3 I did watch.
I've seen the first 5 altogether. So I have 1 to watch that is out.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, we can talk about the first 3.
Yeah, first 3. Honestly, I don't feel like they can mess up. I feel like Vox Machina is just like every episode it just hits so well. Like,
Well, I can expand on that too. So as someone who watched the campaign live, obviously they have to cut a bunch of stuff out and condense it down to be a streamlined story, because you're talking about over like 400 hours of campaign story, right? So the first 2 seasons, they did a great job. This one, they're doing a good job. I noticed like the pacing is a little off. So, but I guess for someone who doesn't know the campaign, I'll ask you that. Like, do you feel like the pacing is still good for the 3rd season?
for the first 3 episodes, it feels just a little fast, maybe.
Yeah.
Like just a little fast. It's not. But I kind of, to be honest with you, I kind of felt that last season too, though. Like
A little bit.
all of
Yeah, a
last
little bit.
season felt a little fast paced, just a little
Yeah.
bit more fast paced than what I would have wanted it to be.
Yeah, so for me, that ramped up just ever so slightly, like a few percentages. Not bad, just I guess in this part of the campaign, there's a lot going on where they, and you'll see this coming up. They have to split the group up. The group doesn't split up in the campaign, but they just split up in the show. I actually think they did that in last season too. They split them up where somewhere that they actually never split up. I mean, you can imagine. You've played a lot of D&D, like you would know, like, okay, well, they're not running a story on 2 fronts, really.
Yeah,
Only occasionally and for a little bit, but
it
yeah,
would be
they did that.
playing D&D. Doing that is a pain in the ass. It's so boring.
It is. It's a lot.
It's boring. It's boring for the players. It would probably be boring for most of the listeners too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could see what you mean. Is like if they didn't split up. I didn't think about that the first time I saw them split up though, because when I watch it, I don't think about it as like, oh, it was a campaign that they're adapting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I will say, so they did a big deviation in episodes 4 and 5. And when I noticed they were doing it, I'm like, okay, this could be. They actually started in 3. Started the deviation in 3, and then in 4 and 5, it's way different than what happens. But I would argue that it's cooler than what happens in the actual campaign. Because they tie in. Did you ever listen to the Calamity?
Yeah, I did listen. You're talking about the
Okay.
one with Brennan Lee Mulligan, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I
Okay,
listened to
so-
all of that and started.
All right, motherfucker. Well, get ready for episode 4 and 5 because they tie in the Calamity.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yes, big Calamity tie-in, and just know this didn't happen in the campaign that way. But I'd argue that it's better. It's really cool. There's a specific character that you get to see that was in the Calamity, and then they talk about the Calamity. So I think you'll really appreciate that as someone who watched the Calamity. You know what? I'm pretty sure they tied it in because, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they are animating the Calamity as a series.
That would be awesome because the Calamity
It'd be
was such a great story. That would be, if they did the Calamity, I think they should just do like a long form movie, like they were originally planning on doing with.
Could be cool.
Because Calamity is what, like only 8 episodes or whatever. It's not even that much.
6.
Yeah, so it's not even that long. I think it would be a great like Vox Machina offshoot just movie. Like here, just watch this, and then see the tie-in from the last season. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna do this because, I mean, they named the brass ring and all of that. Like you will very much enjoy the next 2 episodes.
Okay. Well, I'll probably watch those today then.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. I'm glad you watched Calamity. I thought you had, as I was watching it yesterday. I'm like, I'm pretty sure Tyler's seen this.
Well,
so.
you had been trying to get me. You're like, you should listen to Critical Role, but I understand it's such a long series, and you were like, I won't try and get you to watch that per se, but go watch Calamity because there's only like 6 episodes. And I was like, okay. So I gave the first one a shot, and I fell in love with it. So I watched the whole thing within like a day. I listened to like the whole thing within the course of like 48 hours.
Yeah, it's incredible. They did a very good job. So I think it's pretty promising to get a Calamity series to tie in.
I hope we do. Even if it's not like a series, just like a movie would be awesome, I think, for that. Plus, I just want to hear more Brendan Lee Mulligan. So if they do the animation, I feel like they have to get him to come in and do some of the voices for some of these characters. Because I don't think it would be the same without some of those voices from the characters that he was doing for Calamity. So,
yeah, for sure. For sure. As they were introducing this character in episode 4 and 5, I'm like, that name is so familiar. And then it unfolds, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Calamity. That's crazy.
Well,
so
enjoy.
It'll be good. Do you want to talk about the finale?
My Hero?
Yes, sir. I guess we can talk about the last 2 episodes since we took off last week.
Yeah.
There wasn't much to talk about for that episode.
I mean, it was good, I guess. It was nice to see Uravity kind of get her moment to shine, because Uravity is a dope character. I do like Uravity a lot. But good Lord, was it just a lot of just sappy, whiny stuff, which isn't bad. It's My Hero. It's the same thing. But it does kind of get old after a little while.
Yeah.
This episode was fine, though. My dream of All Might basically becoming Iron Man / Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Happened. Yep. I predicted this.
So that obviously was sick, and I think we knew it was going to be. Like, how do you mess that up? What I didn't see coming, and what was really cool, was that all of his abilities he was using were from the students from the class.
All of his support tools he named after like abilities that were inspired by his students, which were so cool. That was such a nice little touch.
Yeah, it was really good. Very wholesome.
But I did say too, they were gonna leave us edging super bad, and that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did.
Massive tease.
Yeah.
Massive tease. Maybe one of the biggest cliffhangers. I mean, we're in the middle of
the largest fight aside from Shiggy and Deku, basically.
And they're sitting there ballerina twirling in the air. So it's both.
I do want to recall, I did say that I think that All Might's going to die in this fight, and that the way Deku's going to find out is through the vestige. And we did see...
I got a glimpse of it already,
We saw him being able to see the battle through the vestige. And that right there, when I saw that, I was like, that's exactly what's going to happen. Like, All Might's going to die.
Oh, yeah. He's going to die. Deku is going to Cryjutsu power up. He's going to go insane, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Deku is going to pop off when All Might goes down. I think it's going to be a buff. He's going to get buffed from it.
I think All Might has to die. I think
he does have to die. Yeah. He has to die. I mean, you gotta have some death.
Yeah.
It makes the story better.
I think meaningful, of course. Yeah, I think it does make the story better. Yeah. And I think in this case, they've been building it up and building it up and building it up, that it just makes sense that in this moment that Deku actually has to face some real tragedy.
Yeah. He does, man. He does. I think he's going to power up heavy on this, though.
Yeah. I think he is, too. Aside from that, this last episode was great. It was a good episode, aside from the very beginning just being all about Uravity and Toga again.
Yeah. Toga. She's okay. Like,
it's not bad. I'm with you a little bit more and more as the show goes on, where it's like, I get the premise of the show is that these villains can be heroes, but it would be nice if some of them would just stay villains. Like, I think Toga could have stayed a villain, and it would have been okay. Like, I think Toga could have stayed a villain and it would have been fine.
Yeah, I agree. Like, not everyone needs to be redeemed.
Yeah, like All for One is not going to be redeemed. He shouldn't be redeemed. It's a waste of time to try and redeem him. I already know that they're going to try and redeem Shiggy, even though he shouldn't be redeemed either, to be honest, realistically.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
But it's fine to do it. Like, Gentle was a great way of doing it. I loved Gentle. The story of Gentle, Criminal, and La Brava, those two characters are awesome. I love those characters. And I think that the way that they made him like a criminal but then not a criminal was a great way of doing that. But I think that making every big bad a redeemable character by the end is just, I think it's a little bit of a
well, you just
waste.
keep playing the same hand out over and over.
Yeah.
There's no variety
Yeah.
to the story. It kind of derails it a bit, or it kind of takes you out of the submersion. It's like, we're doing this again. We just did this.
Yeah.
Give me something else.
Coming from someone who tends to live in the morally gray or enjoy the morally gray stuff more often, it's just nice if it just stays ambiguous rather than it being like, oh, we can make you good. It's like, is he good? Is he bad? No,
Right.
you can keep it ambiguous. So, but overall, good season. What'd you think?
Yeah. I mean, it was a good season. I think it was better than last season. Well, no.
I don't know. I was about to say last season was a good one.
Sorry, it's the season before last season.
Okay.
Last season was really good. No, I would not rank it better than last season.
Yeah, I think last season is probably still my favorite season.
There was the season before that was a bit.
Yeah, that one was a little bit. It wasn't as. It was just slower. I think it just didn't have enough meat on it. But last season was, in my opinion, last season was like the biggest growth that we got to see out of all the characters. We got to see your boy Kachan grow. We got to see Deku grow as a character. We got to see all the heroes kind of grew in their own ways. But the biggest one was probably Kachan, which was so nice to see.
For sure.
And that's why that season was so good.
He's gonna pop off in the final season.
Oh, you know what? We haven't seen a fucking thing about him since
they're saving it.
Since the ninja guy turned into a threat and sat there starting to pump his heart.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pop off. I think we're gonna get a big Bakugo moment in the finale. The final season.
It's funny to think because, like, if you really think about it, Bakugo is a lot like Endeavor. And like his angry personality, his abilities are very similar. The way that they act and stuff, like that they're.
Do you think that old buddy could have come up with some more creative quirks? There's a lot of fire quirks, but there's also a lot of really stupid quirks.
Yeah, I think that there could have been some more creative quirks. I think that there's also, if they do the Vigilante series, I don't know if you know much about that, but
I just only have heard of it.
if they do like the Vigilante, I haven't read it, but I feel like that's a great way to open the door to explore some other like quirks that we didn't get to see in the show as it is right now. So I'm not sure though. I mean, think about how many freaking characters he has. How many of them are going to be, always good?
No, I agree. Which, great point. Why are we making that many characters?
Well, it's kind of like
Don't do that.
it's kind of like X-Men though. Like you think about the X-Men, like the X-Men has a lot of really cool mutants, but there are also, we don't talk about it much, but there are some really dumb mutants.
There are, and they don't get a lot of spotlight.
Yeah.
So let's not spotlight these dorks. But you can say, hey, let it be known, like they are fighting over there, like they're a part of this, but we don't have to go spend time with them.
Who are you upset that they spotlighted so much?
The heteromorphs, I think, are really stupid. That little animorph guy that just sits there, he can talk to animals. He's a dingus. The octopus arm guy, I don't like him either. Come on, that is just, it's so dumb. I think they could have just made it better, like make it cooler. Why is he Why is he an octopus? It's so stupid. Now, that episode did make him a little cooler to me. But when we get to that point, it's like I think when you're making a show, you should have like made him cooler early on. Like he was like hardly nothing. He was nothing throughout the entire series. And then in the second to last season, you have this like emotional scene with him, and you're like, you want me to care? I don't care. It's too late.
It's too late. It's too late. I don't know. I thought it was. I didn't mind that as much as I like grape soda boy. No, when he showed up.
Grape juice?
Yeah, grape juice. When he
also a stupid ability.
Oh my god.
At least the character is self-aware and
that he's
like we know
dumb.
what we're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. His team is Hervey Short King. And you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
With the other one, the octopus guy, it's like, you want me to think he's cool? He's not. I'll never think he's cool. I'm sorry. It's stupid. And Fat Gum, that's a dumb ability too. Again, he has diabetic superpowers. I'm good. I'm good, man.
I like Fat Gum. I think he's a cool character.
I guess it's just me then.
I think he reminds me of like Choji from Naruto, you know?
I hate Choji, so.
You hate Choji. How can you hate that man?
I don't know. I guess he had that one cool moment at the end of the original Naruto series.
Oh yeah, when he used his like butterfly technique, like his like butterfly.
He was like eating the pills, like the red pill.
Yeah, well, his clan has
red pilled. Choji's red pilled.
Oh god. Yeah, his clan has that ability where it can like concentrate their chakra in their fat, and he can like compress it all out, and when it does it, its chakra like comes out and like forms wings on his back and stuff. So.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, that was actually pretty sick. When you find that out, I was like, okay, so he is actually really strong. You just don't know how strong he is because he's always just playing the fat fool. So.
Yeah, sorry, not for me. Not for me. Now I think a character that is another side character that didn't get a lot of spotlight, Gangorka. That dude's pretty cool. I think that's fine. Like he's one of the heteromorphs that I think is cool. I think Spinner's cool.
Yeah.
I think Spinner's really cool.
Spinner basically turned into a dragon there at the end. So.
Yeah. I just think they just went goofy mode on some of them, and we just didn't need to do all that.
Well, maybe that's the reality where quirks exist. Things get real goofy real fast, you know?
Yeah.
Quirky, you might say.
When I'm sitting here talking through it, I'm like, yeah, it's fine to have the quirks. I just think it's unnecessary to put a lot of emphasis on them, and like, especially at this part of the story where we are at the end, things are popping off. It feels derailing to shift focus onto these characters that we didn't really care about that much throughout the series because there was no emphasis on them before. Like if you knew at the end of the story you wanted to put more emphasis, I think you should have started building towards that here and there throughout the story, and I don't feel like that happened. But,
yeah. I just had a thought about how, like, you know how All For One steals people's quirks. What if someone had the quirk to break the fourth wall, and he stole that, and he knew we were watching the lame superheroes, and then he'd come and be like, no. He said, we're not watching these guys.
The Deadpool, man. And they need a Deadpool in this universe.
Yeah, that would be funny.
That would be funny. It could be what's his name? Stain?
Stain, yeah. I think Stain's too serious to be Deadpool, though.
Yeah, he is a little too serious. They could have made him a little more quirky. No pun intended.
I do want to see more of Stain, though. We saw him for a split second. I want to know if we're actually going to see.
I think we're gonna get some of that in the finale season as well. I think we're gonna get big Bakugo moments. We're gonna get a final Stain thing. I'm not sure what it's gonna be. But
Maybe he'll help the heroes in the end. Because I mean, his whole goal at the end was to bring back the real heroes. So
this is a character that would be redeemable.
Who's Stain? Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, he's in that gray zone. It's like if you want to like spotlight someone in their final moments or give them like a, hey, here's a redemption arc. That's the type of character you do that with, not this psychopathic, blood obsessed demon child. But no, I guess like I feel like Buddy is just like, no, everyone's redeemable, and that's the
theme.
Of story.
Yeah, maybe that's his moral.
Could be.
That's his truth. He's living his truth. Okay, everybody's redeemable.
And it's his story. We are just observers. So.
Yeah,
it's fine. My complaints are not massive complaints. Like
and they don't even really take away from how good the show is, because even with how much we may dislike the redeemability of some of these like villains or how they try to redeem them, the story is still good and the characters are still well written.
It is good.
So,
but I'm gonna be as blunt and give all the critique that that I can. If we're reviewing it, I'm gonna give all of it. The good and the bad. There's a lot of good, especially our main characters. They're very well built and their stories are great. Just watching their story arcs play out, like I'm excited to see how they finish in the final season. Mm-hmm. So I'm not just hating on the goofy side characters. I think the characters that do matter are really sick.
Yeah, and I'm just excited to see more of them at this point because I think we've gotten through all the side characters for the most part. Like the only major villains left at this point are Shiggy and All for One.
Yeah.
That's basically it. That's basically all that's left.
Yeah, gosh, and is this gonna be another almost 20 episode season, or do you think the finale will be shorter?
I don't know. I honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, they could probably try and drag it out to 20. I'm not sure it's necessary for 20.
I don't think they should.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I think 12 episodes would probably do it just fine.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
do you think it's gonna be a really long fight, like a 8 episode fight?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I think 12 episodes is still quite a lot. Maybe they should just. I don't know why they do a last season unless there's something else that's going to happen. Like some big twist has to happen to make it string out that long. Because if it wasn't going to be that long, they should just do a movie.
Yeah.
Just do the final movie.
Agree. We're gonna end up in the same boat that we were with Demon Slayer. Oh no.
Oh god.
Do you think that these manga artists consider seasonal story beats? Like, do you think they consider like, okay, if I write this chapter or this arc, I gotta make it fit within like a 12 episode format, so like a 36 to 40 something chapters roughly for a season. Like, do you think they consider that when they're writing their?
I don't think that. I think some might, but I think the majority of them probably don't look at it in terms of what could fit in episodes when they're writing, because that's like a book author thinking about, all right, how much of this could actually fit in a movie? Yeah, in a screenplay.
No, totally true. It just seems like that is an obstacle that's getting in the way of some of these seasons being really good, like the training arc, the Hashira training arc. Like, what the fuck was that?
Well, I think that's
Why
less
did
of
we sprinkle that in?
I think that's less of a writing issue as it is a production issue. I think that's probably more like the mangaka was like, here's the information. I gave you guys the short and sweet version. I didn't want to waste your time with it. And if you read the manga, it doesn't waste your time. It gives you everything you need, and then we move on. And I think the production company is like, we have the IP. We want to try and make as much money on this as possible. So let's drag this bitch out. What can we do to make it longer?
Yeah. We're gonna squeeze all the juice out of these balls that we can.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the real issue. I think if a story is good enough to get picked up by an anime, it's not the mangaka or the writer who is saying like, oh yeah, it's a good idea for us to try to drag this season out. They're probably looking at it at like, okay, this was horrible. Why did you do this?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I won't argue that point. I think that's fair.
Yeah. So
That is fair to say for sure.
and that's why you've got mangakas like Tight Kubo for Bleach coming out saying
So
like
Kubo.
I would absolutely redo Bleach, you know, because we
Oh,
have better
God,
animation
give it to
now.
me.
We can skip
Just
all the
give
filler.
it to me. Oh man.
Yeah, we might get it though. I'll tell you what. Like I said, if when the One Piece drops, depending on how well it does, that'll determine the remake for some of these other animes for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna pop off. It's going to. I think the live action did too good of a job getting an entirely new fan base on board.
Mm-hmm.
And even the the diehard One Piece fans that are complaining about it doesn't need a remake, guess what they're gonna do?
Watch it.
They're gonna watch the remake.
Yeah, they are.
So
They're gonna watch
not
it out of,
fooling anyone,
out
brother.
of spite just to see if they can
doesn't
hate on it.
Yeah, and which by the way, you guys, doesn't matter what feelings you have when you're watching it. If you watched it, is what matters.
Yeah.
You're going to. Not only are you gonna also watch it again, but the entire new fan base is gonna watch it. It's gonna bring eyes to it. Of course they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense. I'm excited for season 2 of that. I think that the live action is in good hands. It's produced by people that really care about the story, and having
Oda's
on
directly
board.
involved, yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
And the crew love it. Like even the
Yeah.
even the cast like have come out and like the main cast has been like, yeah, we love the anime. Like we've watched it, we've seen it. Like we all like the anime. So I think you're right. It's in good hands. They're gonna have to make some hard calls on changes at some points, I'm sure. Just because live adaptations of animation is always gonna have some issues where you're not gonna be able to do one for one most of the time. So that's it's just gonna be a question of can Oda and that team agree on what is the best solution for those types of calls. Kind of like Avatar, you know. I actually think the live action of Avatar did a decent job, and it has potential. But they did make some calls that I think could have been done a little bit better. So.
Yeah. Yep, it's all good, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where they go. Can they follow up a really good first season with a really good second season?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, that was
Really
pretty much.
exciting.
What?
Oh, well, I just had like a last second thought. Am I gonna want to watch? Well, look, One Piece isn't over yet, but like, I guess, am I gonna want to keep watching the live action before the anime? Is it gonna get to a point where I'm like, no, I want to see it. I want to discover it for the first time in the anime. You get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't watch, what was it, the East Blue? Is that the first arc in One Piece? So I didn't watch that before I watched the live action. But then after I watched the live action, I went back and watched it. Is this going to get to a point where I want to watch the anime before the live action?
Well, I'm not sure. To be honest with you, it's going to depend on how fast the remake comes out and how much they do.
Yeah.
I was asking the question of like, how far does the remake go? Like when does
There's that too, because we I guess we would need to look and see when does the animation when does it become modern in One Piece? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure when it becomes like modern or when it would be considered up to par.
Yeah.
I think that like there was a huge graphics update on this last season.
Yeah.
Or animation update on this last season. So if anything, this last season might be maybe.
Yeah.
And then
so they
just,
would
like,
reanimate up to this last season.
this last season, and then everything after that
is a
would just
ton.
be. That is a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Is it called East Blue? Now I'm second guessing myself. Sorry, I don't know why. My autism's getting in the way. List.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I do want to know like how far it goes. Although
it's easy.
I have found out like what they're going to be releasing for the remake, I've already watched everything, so I may rewatch it. I may rewatch it with my girlfriend because she hasn't seen any of it, and at least then she can experience it for the first time, and it'll be good quality, and it won't be super slow paced or anything. But I'm not as worried about the remake until, for me personally, I'm not as hyped about it until it gets to the point where I haven't seen any of the stuff that's coming out. Because I've seen, I've seen all the way up to like Skypiea, I think. I don't know if you've even gotten to Skypiea yet.
No, dude, I haven't even finished Alabasta. I am at the very last part of Alabasta.
Of Alabasta, yeah. I think Skypiea is right after Alabasta or soon after Alabasta.
It looks like it is soon after. Mm-hmm. Is that the Sky Island Saga, Jaya Arc, and Skypiea Arc?
Yep. That's when they start. Yeah. That's when they start sailing around the clouds, bro.
I mean, dude, I do think the world's incredible, and I would dive into it. And I was starting to watch it. I mean, I went all the way from the beginning to the end of Alabasta. And
so, okay.
I stopped because they said they're reanimating it. I'm like, well, I may as well wait because it'll be soon.
So it is going to be the first 11 arcs, it says. The remake is set to follow the entire story of the manga through 11 arcs and conclude closest to 260 episodes, which would be the equivalent of the first 1,000 episodes. After they reanimate and cut out all the filler and cut out all the excess, they said that they could get it under 300 episodes.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So yeah, it is probably going to be starting around close to where this last arc started. It's going to be really close to where this last one started. That's when it'll stop. So they are basically remaking the entire anime, almost entirely.
Wow.
But they're going to cut 1,000 episodes into a fourth of the time, 25% of the time. I will say that if you could do that, then that means that One Piece has been really dragging it out in their episodes. Dragging it out big time.
Unnecessary.
You're talking about it being like short, like, and it's still going. So it makes me wonder, like, how did some of these animes have so many episodes? Why did it drag out for so long? You know?
That's a great question.
How are there so much excess in some of these animes? I mean, Naruto, I get. It's like 4 seasons of excess. Like, there's nothing you need to watch in the final 4 seasons of the original Naruto. Shippuden, there's not quite as much filler. There is still filler, but a lot of the filler is still decent. And it's funny because when you look up One Piece, they're like, yeah, One Piece doesn't have much filler. No, it doesn't have a lot of filler, but what it does do is it takes like the last 7 minutes of the previous episode and make it the first 7 minutes of the next episode. So each episode is like half of the previous episode.
Yeah.
It makes it...
Yeah. Well, when you think about it like that...
You're basically getting a 10-minute episode every time, and you're rewatching the same 7 minutes.
Yeah, so that 1,000 episodes really is more like 500.
Yeah, so... But... Well, that was pretty much all I had for today. All the news and My Hero. I don't have anything else to depart with other than I'm happy we're gonna have the holiday season and some time to kind of plan for what we want to do with this podcast in the future and come up with some new ideas on how we want to return when we hit January again in the new year. No, we're gonna be missing a lot of Bleach, but we could always just review it at the beginning of the year and come back.
We can definitely review it, and we will have plenty to talk about. We'll have, right around when we start, shortly after that, we should get season 2 of Solo Leveling. And we should be getting the Chainsaw Man movie.
Yep. Also, you should watch Frieren, because I think we'll probably be getting the second season of Frieren around the beginning of the year too, because that's when the last season came out. So I would plan for that. I don't know if they put the actual time, but I imagine it's going to be around the same time they did last year, and I think it came out February. And you will love Frieren. I know you, and I know you're gonna, because I know Joel Boy has already told you Frieren is actually So good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he loves it. It's one of his favorites.
So
Yeah, man. Well, I guess that's it.
Yep.
Season 1 in the books.
Happy season 1.
We'll reformat, come back. Yep, start of the year. So get through the holiday season. Enjoy. And we'll see y'all on the other side. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Hidden Online podcast. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe, comment, and like this video for more. You can also find us on Spotify and Instagram at Hidden Online Podcast.